Welcome back, Idol Searchers. It's time for part 3 of my Idol Search Season 10 audition round critiques. We've got our top 8 left for the round. Coming in at number 8 is TheGilbertAndrew, also known as Gilbert Milan. He sang Can You Feel the Love Tonight by Elton John. I think you have a truly unique vocal tone, and it has a dramatic kind of Broadway feel to it. You got this in the comments a lot. Mileage may vary as to whether that's an insult or a compliment. Simon Cowell used to use it as an insult, but there are plenty of really respectable superstars on Broadway. Let me tell you that, and I think you've got a real talent. It can get a little bit out of control in the more melisma-oriented moments when you're adding inflections to the end of your notes, but the intonation here is generally excellent, I would say. You want to test the volume of your track, though. It's very high in the video. That detracted from the presentation a bit. And remember to stay connected. As is the problem with many of the audition videos, you do look away from the camera a good bit for lyrics checks. And even if it feels like a throwaway at the time, I'm not even talking about lyrics checks here. There were just a couple moments where you stared off into space for a second. But remember, we're watching you. So those are a little bit nitpicky, but there are issues that you need to work out. So overall, they're very solid performance. And you get a 6.5 on the Charlie score rubric or whatever. Coming in at number 7 is Alxthisxisxme. Alexandra is what I will call her from now on. You sang Believe in Me by Demi Lovato, and I think you have a very solid voice, and that this was sung very well. But I didn't really care for the song. I'm not taking off points for that necessarily, but I want to say this. If it's a personal favorite song of yours, and one that you connected to particularly strongly, I couldn't really tell. So what I mean by that sort of is that, I guess what I'm trying to say is that the best performers are more than just good singers. They have the ability to elevate mediocre material into something more than it is on its own. And right now, I see you as a good singer, but your challenge now is to become more defined as a performer. So I look forward to seeing that transformation. And your score is a 6.6. Next up is number 6, Jasmine One Taylor, our good friend Jasmine. You sang I'm Yours by Jason Mraz, and this was quite refreshing, I thought. You were very relaxed in your delivery. It was almost like, I know you're not old enough to drink, or at least I'm pretty sure you're not, but when a friendly drunk is at a karaoke bar, that's what it felt like to me. But I mean that totally as a compliment, if you can believe that. But ironically, the least appealing part to me was the ad-libbing, which is where you should have the most freedom, but I think you colored a bit too inside the lines that Jason Mraz established in his studio version. So you came off a little bit mechanical in the part of the song where you could have let loose the most, which was kind of your vibe. So, a little bit confusing advice, maybe. I think that makes sense. It makes sense to me. If it makes sense to you, that's good. And if not, ask me again. And I'll explain it. But overall, your vocal tone, you have that, you're blessed with the vocal tone of a 2-pack-a-day smoker. And that's also a compliment. It's like butter. And this is easily the most appealing part of your entire presentation. And also, this audition is pretty easily in the upper echelon, as you know now, you're number 6 of the audition round here. So, your score is a 6.8. Coming in at number 5 is Singing Fool 14, also known as Steffi Ledbetter. You sang Lullaby of Birdland, and I thought it was pretty beautifully sung. But, and this is the part of the critique where everybody's starting to get more nitpicky advice, but I want to give something constructive to everyone. What I wish for you is that you had maybe taken the tempo down a hair so we could appreciate those beautiful phrasings that you had and the kind of complex note progressions that this jazzy song had. So it felt a little rushed to me. And also I feel like you're a little bit scratching the surface of what you could do with this song by taking it at that faster tempo. It felt a little bit like a throwaway rendition, even though it was very well sung. But I think this is obvious based on what I've said. I'm excited to see what you do with a full-length song backed with a track or instrumentation. Next we have VadaMarchOfficial, our good friend Vada, who sang Fucking Perfect by Pink. There was a lot to like about this performance. There was a build in dynamics from the verses to the choruses, which is something that I've harped a bit on with some of the other contestants. There was a clear emotional connection to the song. You sang directly to camera, and even though you were singing a cappella, you didn't break the rhythm of the song, which is something that other people had trouble with as well. My main critique of your vocal is that some of the ad-libs felt more mechanical than natural, and especially the lyric "Done All I Can Think Of" was a lyric where that critique came to mind for me. And there's the occasional tendency to push a note slightly sharp when you're emphasizing it. Overall, you get a score of 7.5. All right, top 3. Number 3 is Pixie Chick 689, Laura. You sang I Have Nothing by Whitney Houston, and I thought that this was a beautifully controlled, in-tune performance, hampered only by the occasional look off screen. I don't know if it was lyrics check, but it took away from what was otherwise a very professional sounding and well done performance. Also, I see a level of intensity there that is really appropriate to that song. But I really wish you would have done the whole song so we could see it built through that infamous key change where so many things can go wrong, high degree of difficulty, but also high degree of emotional intensity that you have to bring to that song if you build it all the way through. You could have jumped up a little bit in my estimation if you had tackled the whole song for this audition. In that sense, it was a little bit of a musical coitus interruptus, but again, I'm nitpicking. You're Arpia, I think. And I think that could be your selling point as well as your ultimate downfall if you fail to give us variety and if you fail to let loose every once in a while. Don't be afraid to get a little ugly. Your score, and the third highest score of the week, is a 7.8. All right, number 2 is Geronimo 8. His name is Jaron, I believe is how he pronounced it. You sang The Lazy Song by Bruno Mars, and I feel like this performance is the epitome of choosing a song that fits your style and performing it very well. But my psychic powers tell me that performers like you and Laura can easily become pigeonholed. You as the Jason Mrazzi carefree jam band guy, and her as the polished power balladeer. To quote Tyra Banks, each of you has what the other one needs. You have the ability to let loose and just sing us an engaging tune, and she has the technical prowess to blow us away. I'm going to quote someone else, and that someone is Simon Cowell. You are commercial with a capital C, and that's why in this round you get the infinitesimal edge over her with a score of 7.9. All right, down to number 1. Honestly, I was caught by surprise as I was going through the performances. I thought that Laura and Jaron were going to be the top two. Then one of the last auditions I saw was by Miss Kirstilynn. She did a song called Te Amo by Trevor Hall. And the thing is, I couldn't even make out what you said when you said the title and who the artist of the song was. But as soon as you started singing, I immediately opened Google and I began frantically searching for the lyrics that you were singing, the ones I could make out anyway. Because, you see, what the judges say on American Idol about singing songs that people know already is mostly bullshit. If it's a great performance, and I say that this was the best performance of the round, those who are listening will search out the song and want to hear it again. That's what you did for me here. My only critique is that the guitar is a little too loud and it drowns out the vocal on occasion. But I could close my eyes and it sounded almost like a produced vocal track. I guess in conclusion what I want to say is that Cree asks you this round to sing a song that shows off what you can do. And to Kirstilynn, on that criterion, I simply say, mission accomplished. So congratulations to Kirstilynn for coming in first in my critiques, and her score is an 8.1. All right. That was what I had to say about your performances this week, so I hope you have something to say to me in the comments. I hope they were helpful. I hope that you watched all the videos, even if you were only in one of them, because advice applies to everybody, and in a lot of cases you can learn good techniques from the advice that I give to other performers besides yourself. So have a good day and look forward to your round one critiques as soon as the deadline is up. All right.